Hi everyone, today I want to show you a new stamp set called Daisy Lane. It was just introduced in the new annual catalog from Stampin' Up! And it has a matching paper punch called the Medium Daisy Paper Punch. I love any stamp set that has a matching paper punch. I just think it's so much fun to be able to paper punch your images or use the punches to create other things like punch art, where you take a stamp and a punch and create something that's not even meant to be. It's always really fun. I just love paper punches. So this is a great addition to my collection, and some of you might recognize that image and say, I think I have that, but actually you might have the larger one. This is the larger one that was released last year. So these work together great. So if you already have this one, don't discount this grouping here, because first off, the new stamp set has a stamp that will work with your larger punch. So you get extra uses out of that. And it has a stamp that works with the smaller one. So the new stamp set, Daisy Lane, has dual punches that'll go with it. And if you have the last year's Daisy Delight set, the sentiments are different. So you have a thank you in this one, so you have some different things to go here in the new one. And you've got different backgrounds and different leaves. So it's a different set. They work nicely together. You can mix and match and use it and have even more choices. So it's a great thing to have both. You don't have to just stick with one. I will show you the size differences. So the smaller, it's called medium, so maybe someday we'll get a small, I don't know. Medium Daisy Punch is about inch and a half across, a little bit more, tiny bit more than an inch and a half across. And it looks really cute by itself. You can fold them and make it look like a side view of a daisy. You can layer them and make super full daisies like I did here. This is 2. You can layer it even more. Here is the large one next to it, and I just used 1. Or again, you can put 2 together and make it extra full, as I did on this one. So these really work nicely together. You're going to want to have both sizes of the punches. They're very different and they work really nicely together. The medium one, the newer one, is nice for card fronts because it's not quite as big, so you can get a few of them on a card front. I'll show you some of that. Oh, and I'm going to show you one more punch out that I did. Here I layered the large one and the medium one together, and you get even more full flower, and you can play with your petals and puff them up any way you want. I want to point out this little fun thing too. It's a fuzzy little ball of yellow fuzz. It's like flocking, and it's called flower centers. That's what it's called, Perennial Essence Floral Centers, and they're already adhesive backed, and they look perfect in the middle of your flowers. So here's a card that I did for a display at my open house, and I wanted to show a few things with the daisy punch, and here's those little flower centers. So this is a fun little card, very simple, and I was able to get 2 big daisies, or 2 medium daisies on there, and they look great. And here's a card. Now this one is copied right out of the catalog, and I was able to get lots of daisies on here. I used some of the stamp, this image here, in the background, and then some of the punched out daisies on the front. So I was able to get a lot on there, and it just looks really full and fun. Love that. That's right out of the catalog, so you can see that. And here I used just the little ferny looking leaf on this card here. And I think it's nice that you have that versatility. And one more, and this one I used the medium daisy as a stamp, but then the larger one for my focal point. So the Daisy Lane stamp set and punch are super fun to have. We're going to make this one card here together. I designed this one as a really simple card to put together for a make and take at my open house. I wanted people to be able to use the stamp set but not have it too complicated, because there's a lot going on in an open house. So I'm using some new colors. This is called Pretty Peacock, and I really love it. It's really beautiful. I think it's just a fantastic color. I really missed Island Indigo when that was tired, and this is fastly taking over my need for Island Indigo. It's a little different, but it's still lovely and rich, and I just really like it. And then we also have this new color, which is called Seaside Spray, and it looks great paired together with the Pretty Peacock. It's actually nice with a lot of combinations. and I think it's a really good addition as well. So we're just going to layer those together, and then I've got a piece of Whisper White. So the card base is a sheet of 8.5 by 11 cardstock cut in half at 5.5 and then folded at 4 1/4. So then our Seaside Spray is 4 by 5 1/4, and then we have Whisper White at 5 by 3 3/4. So it just kind of goes down 1/4 of an inch each time, and I'm going to attach those together really quickly, and I will speed up the video while I do that so you don't have to watch me glue. Now before I attach the white, I want to stamp my background. So for my background, I'm using that kind of fern looking leaf and the pretty peacock ink. And I'm going to do some in full strength, and then I'm going to stamp it again and stamp off and do another one not so full strength, so it's lighter. I think that's enough. And then for my sentiment, I think this time I'm going to use the word friend. And for the daisies, we're going to use a piece of scrap white to stamp that, and those are in Rococo Rose, which is also another new color. So this card uses 3 new colors. Now I'm going to give you a little tip. The punches with the tips straight down, so not on it. See how there's a straight up and down petals, and so if you stamp that way, it'll be easier for you to go in and punch it out right on the edge like that. Whereas if you had turned the flower slightly, you might have to turn the punch slightly and figure it out, and you know, maybe punch something off to the side you didn't mean, or silly things like that. So I like to make it as easy as possible. So I'm going to layer these, so that's why I'm doing 4. Look at these cute little dinosaur shapes. I was making cards with the new Dino Days stamp set too, so we'll have a video on that soon. See how easy that is to line up? And I'm going to have to cut to get that one in the middle. That's okay. There we go. And these just layer really nicely on top of each other. I'm going to layer my little pieces here. Incidentally, I will tell you the measurements for this. The Whisper White piece is 1 1/4, and then I've brought it all the way out to the edge here, so it's at 4 inches, and then this is just a 1/4 of an inch bigger, so it's 1 1/2, and it's also by 4, so they layer without a mat on the edges, without a little overhang. I should say flush to the edge, is that what I'm looking for? So all the way to the end there. white on top. It kind of covers where all your ferns overlap each other. Okay, and then I thought it would be fun to add this ribbon here. It's flax ribbon in white, and I kind of just did a little bit of it to hang down. I like to have a little bit of texture on a card, so I tend to add ribbon or a little thread or just a little something. And for ribbon, I like to use tear tape. I think it's just easy, and the ribbon sticks to it really nicely, but you can pull it up if you need to reposition. So I think tear tape is a great thing to have on your desk. And just place it down. The flax ribbon has little tiny holes, so it might even get that top layer at the same time. But if not, you can throw another little piece of tear tape behind there or a glue dot. I'm going to use the tear tape since it's sitting right here. And I like to put it on the cardstock rather than flat on the ribbon, just because it's easier to then take the backing off. There we go. Now one of my daisies I'm going to put flat to the card. So I have that tear tape sitting right here, so I'm going to use it yet again. The glue dot works nicely as well. I'm just going to put that flat on the card. It's going to help it stick to that ribbon, which is really bumpy. And that's going to sit nicely. And then we're going to use a dimensional on the second daisy, just to give it a little height. And that's it. This is a really simple card. Like I said, I wanted it to be simple for a make and take, and I think it fits the bill. Now, Pretty Peacock is a very dark cardstock, so I like to put in a piece of Whisper White on the inside so that someone can easily write a greeting or something on it. So for that, I'm going to go ahead and use another stamp on the inside. Just for fun, I like to do something on the inside, and it's nice to even do your envelopes. So I'm just going to add another little daisy to the inside. Just at the bottom. And that's it. This is a simple card. Let me show you the collection of daisy laying cards that I made for my display board one more time. So I've got this one here, made straight with the daisy laying stamp set. And then I've got another. Now this one did a little bit of watercoloring. I just inked it up as normal and then used an aqua painter to kind of smear the ink that was already on the stamp. Really simple technique. We can do something on that, and then maybe you can see a little bit of tone-on-tone stamping on the background. These were on a display board, so they're in plastic. So I've got this nice little background, and this is really fun. Now to achieve the two colors, I used a marker to ink up the stamp, so I used Melon Mambo and Crushed Curry. And then you've got another one with just the ferns. This is new ribbon from the Magnolia Lane suite. This one uses those new fun flower centers. And again, the daisy lane and the markers to get the two different colors. And this is the basket weave textured embossing folder, which is really fun for a little basket of daisies there. And that's it. These are my little cards. Now, if you are interested in the Daisy Lane stamp set and paper punch, I have some little kits left over from my make and take from my open house. And I will send you a thank you card, as I always do when someone purchases from me, but I'm also going to send you a little packet so you can get started right away and make your own Daisy Lane card like this one. So you'll get a little card kit that has all the little cut pieces and everything, and you can get started right away. So you can check that out at bestpapercuts.com, and you can find the stamp set and information on all the different projects made here. And thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate all the viewers and all my subscribers. It's really fun to see people watch your videos. So thank you so much for watching. Bye.